Welcome to Lesson 5. We're going to be talking about exercise physiology. And you're thinking, what? What does that mean? Well, basically, physiology has to do with the body's response, and it's going to be the organs and the muscles really responding to the demands of exercise. So as you understand this, you're going to understand why, wow, at the beginning I didn't feel so good, and then it got a little bit better and better, and just kind of what is involved in really improving within your body that helps you perform so much better, and at the same time it feels easier. So first thing you need to know about where this energy comes from, and you have three systems that fuel energy in your body. The first one is phosphagen, and that one lasts only about 10 seconds. It's a very short-term energy. And then it progresses right into the next one, which is anaerobic, and that can last up to 3 minutes in a highly trained athlete. And when you're not as highly trained, it may even be down to as low as like 1 minute. And then you would go into what's called oxygen, which means aerobic with oxygen, and that's really what provides sustained and long-term energy in a longer activity. So they get used in progression, these three systems, and depending on the demand, the intensity of that activity. So you can see the phosphagen is appropriate for something extremely short, very high intensity. And the anaerobic is also fairly short, fairly high intense, really is most common with the activities that start and stop with some rest in between. And then aerobic basically is associated with longer activities of medium intensity that keep going continuously. So when you're looking at all these different activities, we're really thinking about which ones are primarily aerobic and anaerobic. So football, if you think about that, football has a series of fairly high intense start and stop, so that would fit with anaerobic. When you look at soccer, it's interesting because that may even be a little bit more dependent on the position that you play in the field, and you can see where people are selected for different positions even based on what their body naturally does. Swimming, what we're looking at there is open water swimming. That is more of the long, continuous. You better be going continuously. We're going to be at the bottom of the ocean there, so that would be aerobic. Volleyball tends to be pretty short term, pretty intense. And then just kind of look through the rest of the activities and you figure out for yourself what you think each of those are, whether they're aerobic or anaerobic when you're looking at snowshoeing, golf, mountain biking, skateboarding, skiing, and then trail running. So just a little bit to think about. When your body is at rest, most of the blood in your body is basically hanging out in your core, in your torso, because it has to do a lot of work to support the functioning of all those organs. And so it kind of explains what happens when you first start exercising. It's like this huge alarm has gone off in your body, and you have a really high rate of blood moving out, which means that heart's going to pump particularly hard at the beginning of an effort. And the breathing rate rises because it's trying to get oxygen out to those working muscles. And there's also a rapid rise in chemical energy production to fuel whatever the demand is of those exercises. And then some other things to think about when you first start your warm-up, knowing that you want to start out kind of easy. You don't want to just start out super fast. You want to allow your body to move into this exercise state. So you take deep breaths and you try and just keep muscles loose and just kind of gradually increase your pace within. You try to avoid talking too much right at the beginning because already your breathing rate is up, and so these muscles within the abdomen are working a little harder. If you're talking also, it's easy to get a cramp. And then mentally, don't get freaked out. Just stay calm, stay relaxed. You're going to get to a point where things do even out. So does it even out and feel better? Yes, there's two things that cause that to feel better. One is as that blood moves out to the muscles, it's actually warming the muscles, so that temperature rises to about 103 degrees. And just like anything, as it warms, it tends to become more flexible. And then the other thing is that, especially in aerobic activity, you reach what's called steady state. And it's like you've reached this balance point where you have enough energy provided to the working muscles, and we're getting enough oxygen out there. But it takes a couple minutes, anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes. And so that's why you want to just be patient at the beginning of a workout. Okay, look to Schoology for the follow-up activity for this lesson.